core values come from respect, compassion, giving to others, honesty, integrity. All of those things I think would be my core values and what I would look for in people that I would hire to train as relocation specialists, that they must be caring and understanding and be respectful and have the same values as I do. Hi, I'm Wendy Stahley. I'm CEO and founder of Porchlight Relocations, and this is my journey of being a female founder. We are a full-service relocation company as well as community tours. We assist corporate companies with their new hires and new arrivals to Kitchener, Waterloo, and area with their relocation services. So we provide assistance in finding long-term and short-term rentals, assisting getting their social insurance number, OHIP, setting up their bank accounts, if the kids need registered in school or daycare. The community tour is a very important process of the relocation process. It allows people to see our community, and if they fall in love with our community, which they most always do, then they will most likely take the job that they're coming for an interview for. I'd taken time off from about 15 months of recovery after I'd had a rare type of breast cancer, and I thought I need to change up my career. And I just happened to see a very small ad in the newspaper where there was a need for a relocation specialist to assist with new hires, people relocating to KW with at that time was RIM, that became BlackBerry. So I thought, well, I've traveled lots of places, I've been lots of places, I love people, I've been in this community since 1985. I thought I could do this. And so that was the start of Porchlight Relocations and Community Tours in 2007. So before I started this business, I started out in my early 20s. I had a degree in business and sales and marketing. I worked for some companies in the United States and in Western Canada. I also had a connection with a business partner for a short time that was in West Africa. And so I have relocated myself and my young family. I know what it's like to be on the end of the person being relocated. And I thought this would be absolutely perfect because I can really resonate with those, especially relocating if you have young children or if you're coming from a completely different country and you're coming to Canada. And that's how I started this business, and kind of a bit of my background. I've again, being in business and sales and marketing for a number of years. I also created a franchise package for a company of Western Canada, which is how I ended up coming to Kitchener in 1985. And then I met my husband, who was a Kitchener firefighter. And I was taking a position in Yellowknife at that time as a prison guard, and he convinced me to stay here. In history, I married him a year later, and here I've been since 1985. There's been a lot of challenges, a lot of motivation that moved me on to being successful. I'd like to think I'm successful in most of the things I had set out to accomplish. I don't know, being in sales and marketing, you're meeting a lot of people. You have to be positive and be naturally energetic, because otherwise people are not going to believe in your product unless you believe in it. And I really think that comes from believing in yourself, wanting to motivate yourself, having a natural interest in liking people. I also created a franchise package with absolutely no history in any franchising. I kind of self-taught myself about it, and I did a franchise packaging for a store. Actually, it was a chocolate, handmade chocolate business. And then I brought that here to Kitchener from Alberta, and I expanded that and said, hey, we need a wholesale division for Eastern Canada to promote this product. And so that's how I ended up in Kitchener. So I was very proud of that. I actually was one of the first female police officers for a very short time in Calgary. And at the time, I would have liked to continue with that career, but just the way I would have to say that life was in the early 80s was not really conducive to females in the police department. So I did not stay with the police department, although I continued to study criminology. And then I took a position as a female guard in Yellowknife. And just before I was to go to that position, I'd met my husband here in Kitchener, and so I stayed here. I'm very, very happy about creating porch light relocations and community tours. From my experience traveling in many parts of Canada, United States, Europe, Western Africa, I've seen and met many wonderful people from different venues in life. And I like to think that Porch Light's probably the most heartfelt business that I felt that we created, and created a niche market as well. And I love to help people. And this is what relocations is all about. It's about helping people, helping them to feel that they fit in when they come from another country to our community. And I love what I do, and we really love to help people. So Porch Light is probably my proudest accomplishment. Well, I think in my early career, it would be being a working parent with two younger children and traveling and leaving Canada and living in another country in the United States. And so then the kids had to get set up in school, and they had to leave their grandparents and aunts and uncles behind. And it was definitely a different culture living in the southern United States. So to me, there was always mixed emotions of, I love what I'm doing for business, but my kids have to follow me, and so I worried about them. That was probably one of the bigger, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a problem, but a concern I had when I was relocating myself to the United States. Then when I came back to Canada, we then relocated out to Calgary, and the kids had to change schools. And I don't know, I think that now when I'm talking about it years later with my adult kids, they're saying, but Mom, it gave us great experience. And that versatility of the things that we learned as kids, they were telling me, they turned us in the adults we became. So now here we are many years later, and I don't feel so bad about that I felt as a young mom with young kids. And of course, being somebody going to another country, I mean, if you're just in Canada, the United States, things are pretty much the same. But if you're going to another country or coming from another country, things are very different here. And when you come here and your family is hundreds, thousands of miles away, who do you rely on? So as a relocation specialist, we also tell our corporate clients and our private clients that we have as well, that call us anytime. We've had many calls and retained friendships with many, many people over the years, just having a question about anything. Oh, where can I go to get my hair done? Where can I go to buy furniture? Can you recommend a dentist? Any of these things. Can you recommend a daycare? Or, you know what, I'm feeling a little bit blue today. Can you just come over and have a coffee with me? And we do that because it's all about people wanting to feel comfortable where they're living, and what makes us such a great community here in KW. We're such a multicultural community, welcoming so many other people from so many countries around the world here. I'd like to think we've helped at least a little part in making our community as divisive as it is. Because without all those different cultures coming here, we wouldn't be KW. You have to love people for what we do here. And so even when we've hired other people to work for us, they've got to have the same attitudes we have. And going back to what we were just talking about, some of the only other things, the hurdles we've had, obviously, was COVID. Because during COVID, we were in Florida on vacation. We came home in March of that year, but there was no one relocating because as you know, we weren't even basically, go to the grocery store with our mask on, and the rest of us were working from home. But then the relocation people, our business is dependent on people moving into our community. So that was a big hurdle. Thankfully, we had the means that, we survived COVID, but we had very few clients in the first 6 months of COVID. There was obviously no one. At one time, we had a lot of furnished condos that we would rent out short term. We were fortunately able to end a lot of the leases on those condos because we had no one to move into those furnished condos. COVID obviously was a big hurdle for us, as it was for a lot of people. And now we like to think COVID is in the background, and here we are networking and making more connections and getting out and just feeling like human beings again and socializing. So that's a good question. Of all the challenges in my life, there's been so much diversity between moving to the different places we've been and relocating back here, the traveling, even with the kids growing up. I don't think I'd change anything because it made the person I am today. And without those experiences, I probably would not be in the business I'm in today. So I've learned a lot through life. And with those challenges, I believe it's made me a much stronger person. And overall, I like to think I've become a better person because of the challenges that I've had and overcame. And the only challenges I would not have wished upon were my kids having to, come along with me for the ride, but they're okay with that now that they're grown up. So, no, I'm happy where I am, and life has brought me where I'm supposed to be. Networking. The Chamber of Commerce has been great value to me, being able to connect with people. I've been networking with a group called the Growth Academy, which is all female CEOs and CEOs, but business owners as well. So we're making great connections with them. And again, the whole networking process. So as we're networking and we meet other people who are connecting with their needs, and we're sharing our story with them. For instance, another thing that I found very helpful is we started to make a guide, Porchlight did, prior to COVID, and it was a guide to Kitchener-Waterloo and a KW Adventure Guide. Those two guides we made them up so we could refer different businesses for relocation clients specifically. So when somebody would come here, they were looking to point us in the direction of some restaurants, hairstylists, accountants, banking, car dealerships. And those were all references that we would put in our guide to KW, where to go to the museum, where the libraries were located, the Laurel Creek Conservation Area. All of those things were in the guide to KW. I'm expanding that now to be the guide to KW, Cambridge, and Guelph. And that will help our clients, as well as I can connect with other people that are in businesses in those areas so that we can help them. There's no charge for that. I just want to do that. So it's a referral for our clients. So for instance, when people are relocating here from other countries, other than maybe the United States, Americans may have driven their cars here, but for the most part, people, when they come here, they need to lease or buy a car. So I've been working with Parkway Ford dealership for many years because they are able to finance based on their work permits, loans and bank loans, so they can get a car or lease a car. Now, recently, I've added the Cambridge Honda dealership onto that, who's willing to do that. There's different businesses that, again, we will put in our guide that I know have a great reputation, that I can say, yes, I would go there myself. Yes, I would refer this company because they've always given us great service. They're dependable, all those things. So those are two different guides that Porchlight has worked on, and then we kind of didn't really do much during COVID. A lot of businesses ended up not in existence now, especially the restaurant industry. So we are now vamping that up, and I think, and then we put that in with every new corporate client that we have and their clients. So it's just an attachment so that they can, the clients, before they even arrive here, they can say, oh yeah, can you take me to the car dealership? Or can you take me to the grocery store? Or can you take me to the daycare? So we can get the kids registered. So they can already preview these things before they arrive. Defining success to me is finding your blessings in all things in life. Be thankful for your friends, your families, and all your blessings. And to me, when you are in a positive state of mind, positive energy just comes to you, and positive things happen in your life. So to be successful, I think having a successful life, feeling good about yourself and your family, your friends, to me, that's being successful. Because if you have those qualities and you're caring about others, I think everything else just falls in place. Core values come from respect, compassion, giving to others, honesty, integrity. All of those things, I think, would be my core values and what I would look for in people that I would hire to train as relocation specialists. That they must be caring, understanding, and be respectful, and have the same values as I do. Oh, and definitely you have to have passion. You have to have passion for whatever you believe in. Just as I was saying about the values that I have, the people that I would look for to hire as part of my team would have to share those same values: compassion, understanding, and positive attitude. I'm a very big believer in positive begets positive, and negative only begets more negative. So I'm looking for people who are like-minded. I don't know. I've always had a sixth sense about people. So sometimes, as I said, again, I talk about law of attraction. So law of attraction, where your energy, I guess, is bringing in people who have the same type of thought process. I guess in simplistic forms is people who that I'm looking for in our business are usually, because they have to be like-minded, they also, most of them are semi-retired, or they're looking for something to do full-time, part-time, people who have traveled, gives them experience of how other people are feeling. They have to have compassion. You can always train somebody to do the job and take people out on community tours. They need to know the city. So being a person who's lived here in KW is important, because You need to be able to know all the aspects of the city. You need to be able to keep up on what's going on in the city. But just having compassion for people. This type of industry that I'm in relocations, a lot of it is compassion and knowing how others are feeling so we can take the stress off of them. So once they arrive here, they can concentrate on finding a home and getting to work and knowing that their spouse and family is okay at home and assimilating into the community. So the people that we look to hire are people basically that have compassion, know about the city, and we can train them in all the things that they need to do, such as finding the different services that we provide for our clients, such as setting up the bank accounts and going to Service Canada and Service Ontario and doing research for rental accommodations. You have to know the city in order to do some of those things. Being as this is such a diverse community, I mean, the diversity of this community is great. We always refer to Kitchener-Waterloo when we're taking up people on our community tours as country living in the city. People love that. They love Kitchener-Waterloo because you're close to farm fresh markets. You're not too far from Toronto, and yet people, because there are many different cultures here in KW, people tend to be much more tolerant of others in the city than in some of the bigger cities. The tech industry here that has really grown through the years. We did thousands of relocations for RIM and BlackBerry over the years. And now with other new startups, we're really finding that is a big growth area in our business. People learned to work from home during COVID, but now people are thinking, yeah, well, maybe we'll like to move somewhere else. And because this community here has always been a very welcoming community, and I think people find Kitchener-Waterloo much more agreeable to live in because we're not in the city as big as Toronto, and yet we're close to everything here. Beaches, farmland, farm fresh fruits and vegetables, and being very multicultural, I think, is a very big part of our growing community. So people in general and their stories about where they've come in life, what they've done in life, people and their stories and why they have come to our community and where they've been in their lives, the connections that I make with people. And again, it comes back to people, stories, life. That's what I find that really makes my business what it is and the person who I am, because I love listening to people and their stories, and I feel we can all learn from each other's experiences. Never give up on your dreams. Never let anyone tell you you can't do that. Believe in yourself, respect yourself, care for others, and life will kind of unfold in front of you and you'll have opportunities and feel positive in all that you do. So now, since we're hoping COVID is behind us, we're expanding our community tours. Community tours have always been a very important part of our business for corporate companies for pre-hire interviews. It's an integral part of a community tour. As we take the candidate out to do tours of the community so they can see whether or not they want to take the job, because if they like living in the community. We did typically our tours in Kitchener-Waterloo and surrounding areas like Baden, New Hamburg, even over to Stratford, sometimes to Cambridge, but now we are going to expand them to Cambridge and Guelph on a more consistent basis as well. So we want to expand those community tours. We would like to offer them also to even the city. We would like to try to get some more doctors into KW, and we're hoping that if we advertise community tours, any doctor interested in coming into the community, we would be able to have the chance to take them out to really showcase our community, because let's face it, doctors can make more money in the United States than in Canada, but that's not always what's important. But this is such a great community. We would like to be able to focus on bringing more people into the community, especially doctors and nurses. And so yes, the expansion of the community tours, hiring back and hiring new people to train for relocation specialists. And I've been doing a lot of networking now. So we're networking with some different companies that we will add to our candidate questionnaire that we send out to all the candidates that have been hired before they come to Kitchener-Waterloo. That'll help them to settle into the community a little bit easier. And in that way, by networking, we're helping one another. I'll send my clients to them. They'll send clients in case, such as clients they need moving service. So we refer them to AMJ Campbell. They need a short-term or even a longer-term stay. Working with Homewood Suites right now in Cambridge that provide an awesome location there, and willing to give specialized rates. And again, car dealerships, the Parkway Ford, the Honda dealership, just different people in different parts, different businesses. And I'd be happy for anybody to contact me. I'd be happy to put their business in our KW guide so that our clients can see what our community has to offer as a whole. Well, other than expanding the company and just trying to stay healthy and promote a positive attitude, and just want to keep on networking and meeting new persons, business, so that we can just help one another. I'm just happy to wake up every day and have a great life in this community. I'm just thankful for all my blessings. So you can visit our website at www.porchlightrelocations.com, or we're in the Chamber of Commerce directory as well under Porchlight Relocations. And you can call me at my number, which is 519-500-8223. And I'd be happy to answer all your questions and get back to you with any concerns or additional information, and love to have a conversation. Yeah, we put a lot of female brains together, and it's amazing, the energy. Not to say that males don't have that energy, but it's great to see females now taking such a foremost position in companies, business, and I think women, because as mothers too, we've always been able to run our household, the families, and we can do all of that and run a business. And that's really amazing what women have accomplished.